You're listening to the Screen Team on 930 KWOC.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
To infinity and beyond!
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Please, what does it always mean? This Junior.
That's his name. Henry Jones Jr.
Like Indiana.
We're named the dog Indiana.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I am your father.
My mom always said life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Bond. James Bond.
And now the Screen Team on News Radio 930 KWOC. And welcome to the Screen Team right here on Today's Talk 930 KWOC and 93.3 FM. Hope you had an awesome and safe Halloween last night. Hope you got a lot of candy, and I hope you're ready for some movie reviews this evening. We're being joined by first-time Screen Teamer from the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Mr. Bill Ray. Coach, how are you today,
I'm
sir?
doing good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. We're going to be joined by Brittany McKay here a little bit later on in the show, but you are a fan of the Screen Team, and you came to me months ago, and you're like, Chris, how about we do a faith-based show on faith-based movies? I'm like, that's a great idea. We need to do that. Well, we finally got around to doing it. So we're doing a few faith-based movies tonight, and our first one is a movie called When the Game Stands Tall, right?
Exactly, yes.
This movie came out in the summer of 2014, and it stars Jim Caviezel. Coach, I know very, very little about this film. Why don't you kind of give us just a little rough base of the story?
Okay, the story centers around the De La Salle Spartan football team.
Okay.
They're from Concord, California. And this school is a Catholic school, and the unique thing of this also follows a book that was written about this Coach Ladd. His name is actually Bob Ladouceur, but we'll call him Coach Ladd.
And this is based on a true story.
True story. Coach Ladd had and the Spartans had a 151 game winning streak. 151 game winning streak.
Wow.
And I want to say, I know it's the Miami Dolphins hold the record for the longest streak in professional, which I believe is in the 20s, 27, but I don't have that in front of me.
Right.
And college football, the streak was somewhere around 53, Oklahoma. And there was actually a football team, Jeff City High School, back when I was in high school, had a 71-game winning streak.
That's amazing.
And we actually played them the year that their streak was broken. We beat them, but also another team, Columbia Hickman, beat them. So to have a 151-game winning streak is way out there. And so the movie actually is about the year the streak is broken,
okay,
and the struggles and the dynamics of that year.
So what kind of struggles did they go through? Obviously, 151 games, that's a lot to be proud of. Where was the struggle at in this movie?
Well, the struggle in the movie was this Coach Ladd, who, as you mentioned, Jim Caviezel was starred him, and a lot of good acting in this movie, by the way. It's as we do faith-based movies, I think sometimes we have thought of them as being, a little cheesy.
Right,
and some of them have been.
Right.
They have great messages, but don't always have great acting.
Right.
But this movie has, I'm going to digress a second. Laura Dern plays Coach Caviezel's wife, or Coach Ladd's wife. And I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, Michael
Chiklis.
Chiklis?
I think so.
Yeah, and he played in The Commish. He played The Shield. He played these detectives in this, and he played in The Fantastic Four as the rock guy.
Yeah.
And in fact, I didn't even recognize that was him because he had facial hair and always wore a hat, and so I really didn't recognize it was him until later on. So the struggle starts out with in the spring and summer. I think it was the spring. Coach Ladd has a heart attack, and Coach Ladd's a smoker on the side. You know, the kids don't know it, but he's a smoker. And anyway, he has a heart attack, and he's not sure he's going to be able to coach. That they're going to give him the okay, but he is able to do that. But within this, there's the struggle with he and Laura Dern and the time commitment that he has to spend coaching football, which a lot of coaches and coaches' wives can relate to that issue,
right? And
how you spend more time with other people's kids than you do your own. And in the movie, Coach Ladd's son is a senior, will be a senior this year, and so there's some father-son issues there, and so it starts, and the movie pretty much right off is when they lose, and so then it's the struggle with all the team and how is the coach going to help his players, and how's he going to deal with it. So that's the essence of the story. And this guy, I think I should mention this, that Coach Ladd states this. He says, winning a lot of football games is doable. Teaching kids there's a lot more to life, that's hard.
Yeah.
This would be an excellent movie for parents if your kids are, I don't know what age, maybe 8, 10, or older, that you could take them to this movie, especially if you got teenage kids involved in athletics. But even if they're not involved in athletics, the basic concept of that these athletics are here to help teach you about life. Yes, we want to strive to win, and Coach Ladd is one of his biggest statements in the book is about not perfect performance, but perfect effort. And so he spends a lot of time working with the kids on perfect effort. Mm-hmm. That you can do that. Says that a lot of times performance is not completely controllable, but effort is controllable. And so that's what, and he always talks about how as a team they've got to love each other. So this is a movie that has got what I would consider Christ-based statements in it all the time.
Yeah.
Love your neighbor as yourself. And so it's loving your teammates, dying to yourself and not worrying about your own performance except of how it affects the team, but realizing that you're just part of a team. You're not the team yourself. And so within this movie, there's the dynamics of another father and son, and this young man is coming very close to the touchdown record in the state to have the most touchdowns.
Right.
Well, his dad is all about his son breaking the record. Now, a lot of times in movies, we probably make things a little bit more all or none, but this father is probably typical of a lot of fathers and mothers that are really wanting their child to perform. Mm-hmm. And so he's really concerned about this record and also about the streak not being broken. But since that happens kind of early in the movie, this father's all his thoughts are all about his son.
Right. So this movie has a lot of great teachings in it, like you had mentioned. What are your personal thoughts on this movie? Did you enjoy it?
Oh gosh, I really did. Of course, being a former coach and being around coaches and being an athlete, that it's just And the older I get, Chris, I think that the more I see that athletics and sport hasn't gotten any less important in the society.
Right.
I mean, I'm a fan, a baseball fan. I mean, when I say I'm a fan, I really like the Cardinals and I like to keep up with them. And now, they're not in the World Series, and so keeping up with sports is something a lot of us do, some more than others. But now kids start playing sport in game winning type situations where it seems to be a lot about winning.
Right.
A lot of traveling teams, and I see more now. A lot more coaches get fired than back in the when I was coaching. It just seems like a lot more emphasis placed on athletics at a young age, and I think that we've got to really be careful that we send the wrong message that winning is the only thing.
Right.
So this movie does a great job of this. I wanted to mention, if you go to When the Game Stands Tall resources and look at some of the clips, and there's Tony Dungy, who former Football coach
with the Colts.
Tony La Russa, we know.
Right.
John Madden. John Madden at the end of the movie actually says, they have him on there, and he says, I don't care if you're a college or professional coach, there's something to learn about the way Coach Ladd coached his players. And there were former De La Salle players that are in this movie, not in the movie, but on these DVD, on this the resources, talking about their experience with De La Salle.
Yeah.
And actually Tony says, wow, he said, I knew about De La Salle somewhat, but he said I didn't really know the whole story until this movie came out, and a lot of sports figures, football players, football coaches and like Tony La Russa were privileged to see it ahead of time and then promote the movie.
Right.
So I just can't say enough about it. If you haven't seen it, I'm not sure when it's going to be on.
I think they're going to release it. I think I saw something close to Christmas time.
Yeah.
So another month or so for that one. When the Game Stands Tall. It's not out in movies anymore, but it will be out on DVD here shortly. Coming up, we'll have Brittany McKay join us, and we'll be talking about Noah. That's next on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.